Oh, no. That's not fine. Look for the one that just says goddamn. Peace and blessings, Sister Isis and Brother Omar. Y'all gotta turn your mics on. Both of y'all mics are muted and your camera is off. So if you want to turn your camera on, you gotta turn it on and unmute your mics. All right. Well, I thank you all for joining us today. I am still on the road. I thought that I'd be home by now, but I'm not. But we're going to continue with our program. Brother Omar, do you know?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether the other two brothers you talked about are coming?
Let me check. I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And Sister Isis, peace and blessings. It's definitely good to see you, to have you on our panel.
Peace, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I came across your channel. Water Sniper was streaming your live. And when I got to his channel and I saw it, I said, well, let me go over here and see what you're talking about. And I came over there to see, and I was definitely very happy with what I heard you saying. And then I checked out a few of your other videos. On point, very on point. And, you know, I want to thank you for your energy and your service that you're giving to our people, because it's needed. It's needed. And I love the way that you stay on point. Regardless to what the fad is, you stay on point. And, you know, that's rare. That's rare. And I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. I did the same thing, actually. I went through your videos and I mentioned that on my live stream. I said, you know, I went through this brother's videos and he's saying the same thing years ago that he is today. But, you know, of course, our message evolves, but that's commendable to stay on topic in a time where there's so many shock tactics happening to distract everyone.
Definitely. And so while Brother Omar checks on those other two that we got coming in, and like I said, I'm still traveling home. So, but we're going to go ahead with the program. Every now and then I'll probably mute my mic so that the road noise don't pick up and that everybody can hear y'all very clearly. But our topic today is Goddamn America. What is the solution for Black people? And, you know, first, let me just ask you, what do you think about that? What do you think about the title, Goddamn America, and what is the solution for Black people?
I'm tired of America. A lot of people are tired of America. And that is an increasing reality, is that a lot of people are tired of America, and not a minute too soon, because the planet is depending on us being tired of America, and us being tired not only of America, but of this global system, because this is in fact a global system. It's in place in Africa, it's in place in Europe, it's in place all the way in Australia. So all over the globe, we are dealing with this issue. And everyone is saying, goddamn America. but there has to be actual action that goes forth. That is the part that is difficult to get people to understand. It requires a lot of organization. It requires a lot of bold action, but this system has taken the boldness out of people. It's taken the revolutionary out of people, and it's made them very subdued and hesitant. And they, even though the few are oppressing the many, they don't see it that way. They forget about that. They see these people as these monuments, right? That's why they have monuments, so that people can stare at those monuments and say, wow, that must be a great man to have a monument. That must be an important person to have a monument. So there's a psychological warfare element that we are constantly dealing with, where people are being made to believe that these people are giants, when really they're the minority, we are the majority. We call the shots. And at one time, they kneeled before us and respected our kingdoms, and we could go back to that state at any time that we choose.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You know, and speaking of these monuments and stuff like that, these museums, I know when I would go to a museum, you would see a lot of Asian people there. You would see a lot of Asian people there. Let me correct it. You see a lot of Chinese people there, you know. And what we theorize is that they go there to see these things of what we went through, so they understand that they will try to do the same damn thing that the cracker did. They think that they're going to do it. And so when we look in Africa and you see them practically trying to do the same thing, and you have this drive now for people trying to get Black and Asian solidarity, Black and Asian unity. What's your thoughts on that?
They never wanted Black and Asian solidarity until it benefited the Asians, because it would benefit the Asians to be in solidarity with us. Because even though we as a people may not know our strength exists. So it would be a greater benefit, but we don't really derive any benefit from them.
Exactly.
I haven't seen anything of them that would make me say, I want to form some sort of allegiance with you. I want to come together with you and have some meaningful partnerships. The character that I've seen displayed of them makes me say, these are a group of people I don't want to deal with. And let's not forget that we have brothers and sisters in China right now that are being beaten and abused because of the color of their skin. But they don't want to talk about that narrative when they talk about Blacks and Asians. Make that make sense. We currently have these people that are terrorizing these Black people in Asia, but they never want to talk about that, but they want to talk about us holding hands with them here in America.
That's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Brother Omar, are you good to go?
I'm good to go. Jester should be coming in.
Okay.
And the other brother, he said he wasn't feeling well. His neck was bothering him or something. He's going to try to listen in though, so we'll see.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into the topic. Me and Sister Isis have already started to getting on it.
Yeah, I heard.
we're gonna go in right and start off with the introductions. So, Sister Isis, if you can go ahead, introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, where your channel is, and what you're about. Then after Sister Isis goes, then you, Brother Omar, you can go.
All right, well, I'm Isis X. I've been on YouTube for several years, 3-4 years now. And my main focus is on Black progress, and literally Black progress by any means necessary, growing in effectiveness, teaching others what we are dealing with so that we can make progress, not just talk about it, not just wish it, but actually put forth actions and have results that are measurable and that are going to help our children, future generations, and even help us now.
Yes, I'm Omar Shamsuddin, and sorry. Oh, okay, Omar Shamsuddin, and I've been a Muslim for about maybe 50 years, and I am definitely Black first. You know, there is nothing I aspire more than see my people liberated, and I, along with yourself, Sister Isis, I believe by any means necessary. That's it.
All right, thank you. Thank both of you. And our topic again today is Goddamn America, and what is the solution for Black us? And I had already asked Sister Isis, but Sister Isis, I don't think what Omar was on. Could you tell us again what your thoughts are when you hear the words Goddamn America? What does that mean to you? And then Brother Omar, after Sister Isis goes.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's be clear. God hasn't damned America. America is a landmass. The white man has damned America, and the white man has damned the world until we do something different. Now, I don't subscribe to religion, but I do believe in God. That's where our ideologies will meet. God hasn't damned America, the landmass. God hasn't even damned Americans, the people. This is in the hands of humans. This is in the hands of beings. I don't even want to say humans. This is in the hands of beings. And just as those beings took power, they can be removed from power. Just as they have dominion over people today, someone else can have dominion over them tomorrow. No one, in fact, has been damned. The people may feel like they've been damned because we've been dealing with the same issue, but we have not been damned. In fact, we're blessed. I was talking to my sister about that today. She was talking to me about something. She's a little bit down, a little bit life issues. I don't want to be long-winded, but I'm looking at my sister. My sister is glowing like the sun. She's beautiful. She's Black. She's intelligent. And she's complaining about some little thing. And I'm not trying to diminish what she's complaining about, but you are not a victim, you're blessed. You have more than a lot of people have. We have more than they have. That's why they have to do the things that they have to do to have control over us. So in fact, I don't believe that America is damned, but the mindset can be more real than reality. If you feel like you are damned, then in fact, you will be damned. If you feel like you are cursed, then in fact, you will be cursed. But when you want to break that curse, when you want to rid yourself of that damnation, you can. And I think that's important to always drive home that message. We can change this whenever we want.
I guess we can go home now. We have kindred mindsets, Sister Isis. There was a time in my Nation of Islam days, I longed for God, for Allah, to damn America. And there reached a time we reached a date, and then it was stated that Allah extended his grace to America. It was somewhat perplexing to me because I thought it was an open and shut case, you know. You know, I said, wow, interesting. You know, but what came to mind is that you are absolutely correct. You know, is that, I mean, something that struck home when you said that America is a land base. And what have the land done? You know, so we don't. It's not necessary to damn America. And I think God was just waiting on us to come to that conclusion, you know, because we'll be waiting around for another 100 years, and America will still be thriving. You know, if we don't say, look, it starts here and it ends here, and that we are going to do whatever is necessary in order to, I'm not so much interested in God damning America anymore. What I'm interested in is the indigenous ex-slaves waking up and opening up to the blessings. As Sister Isis stated before about her sister, you know, that we are a blessed people. How is it that we are blessed? We have come through what I think it would be hard to find another people on this planet that have experienced to the degree. Everybody's been enslaved, but to the degree that we would be hard pressed. And if we were able to endure and come through that, and I look and I say, hey, look, man, we're talking about a people that wasn't allowed to read, wasn't allowed to write. But if you look at the whole earth today, we are the most educated people on the planet. It's hard to find someone to topple that. And another thing that my eyes was opened up to was the fact that everyone is trying to be us, except us. You know, and so I'm looking and I'm saying, let's not wait on God any longer. Let's not wait on Allah. Let us recognize our blessings, not overlooking what we've been through, but we have to see what we've been through as the person that digs for diamonds and find those diamonds in the rough, and they have to put it through all kinds of pressure. But once that diamond goes through that pressure, it becomes something for the eye to behold. Everyone looks at it. Everyone wants it. And we have to realize that we are that diamond that everyone around the planet is looking. Now, our oppressors are hoping that we don't realize that we are a gem, that we continue to think that we are the scum of the earth. But the lessons taught us different. The lessons taught us that the so-called white man was the skunk of the planet Earth. You know, and so we have to look and say, look, we are not going to allow these people to put on us any longer what has been given to them. And that is being the nothings of society. We don't have to be that any longer. All we got to do, there is one thing that we have to do as Black people, as so-called Black people, and that is we have to recognize the curse that was confronting Africa. And what was that? That was, we were divided. So another man could come in and enforce himself on us, take us, because we wasn't structurally put together as a nation. I mean, we was living good. So I could take my family and go over here. You could take your family and go over there. And an enemy came in and said, wow, what manner of people are these? They don't have no protection? Because you're talking about a people that have to fight and struggle for everything that they got. I'm talking about the Europeans. They were savages. And they came in and they found a people who was not, they found a people who didn't have the necessary protections in place in order to protect themselves from an evil outside entity. So therefore, we found ourselves in a bad situation. You know, and I'm saying to Black people today, so-called Black people today, that we have to come together in spite of our differences, because I know what has been pushed by our so-called elite Blacks, and that is, we are not a monolithic people. Who would sell you that other than someone who wants to continue to oppress you? And I'm talking about our Black elites who are living high on the hog on our backs. They have failed us. We have failed ourselves. And we have to now today say, we are going to come together in spite. Because my beloved sister, we've been talking for a long time. And I know I said it, we have 40 million people. That's a nation. If 40 million people just came together and gave $1 a day, how much is that? No, a week. Let's not put the pressure of a day. Let's say $1 a week. That's $40 million a week. That is $1.5 billion a year. That's $6 billion in 5 years. Over 10 billion in 10 years. And that's just giving $1. That doesn't do anything to harm our present situation. You want a damn America? Get Black people busy. I rest for now.
All right, thank you, Brother Omar. And just to build on the train of thought that Sister Isis and you laid down. If we remove, and I wish Angel Snubnose was on here because he talks about this, the God aspect a lot. But if we remove that aspect from the goddamn America and put it this way, do we damn the crop, right? Do we damn all of those with that mindset that these Neanderthal crackers that they have, that they use to rule? Now, when we bring it, because now we're talking with a rubber meets the road, right? We ain't dealing with no God up in the space, up in the clouds. We're dealing with you. We're dealing with me. What is your judgment? What is your judgment on not just the country America, but the people? What is your judgment? And this question I want to ask to the panelists, Sister Isis, Brother Omar, what is your judgment of these crackers that run America and the chocolate covered crackers that's working with them? What is your judgment on that?
Well, when you put it that way, my judgment is damn America. I was telling someone today, I don't forget any of it, and I don't forgive any of it. Forgiveness, people have misunderstood forgiveness for so long. Forgiveness is not, I forgive you without getting any sort of recompense for what you've done for me, without getting any sort of feeling that we've reached some sort of equal status. I don't forgive, I don't forget. I'm not in a position to forgive or forget the many lives that have been lost as a result of us being in the system, as a result of them being in power. So in my mind, and when you put it that way, it's so clear. Yes, in my mind, they've been damned long ago. In my mind, long ago, I slammed down the gavel and said, death sentence, not even life, just death sentence. You're up. You're going to the, to the chair. Because there is no justification. It is a ruthless way to achieve and maintain power. And then there are also those who kill in this system and oppress in this system because they enjoy it. And they've been allowed to get away with this, not just for a generation, but generation after generation after generation. But we have to be very deliberate with the language that we use, because the place that we're in now is not like places that we've been at in different places. You have to remember, have you ever heard anyone say, if I knew then what I know now? Well, each generation we're getting smarter. It doesn't matter what we've been through. It doesn't matter mass incarceration. It doesn't matter that they've killed me. Each generation we're getting smarter. We're passing on information. And each generation is getting more and more tired. And then we have these babies that was raised on this TV and they got ADD and they said they want change now. So we're not talking hypothetically like in the past where we maybe were sort of going to do something. Something is going to happen. Now, how we are in control of that, how we take advantage of the tide of times is completely ours. But this is not a hypothetical time where something might happen. The children want out of this system. We as adults want out of this system. And for the first time, we're all in this place where we all have knowledge. We're all smarter than our ancestors. We have all of this information at our fingertips, and we're going to use it to affect change. And the comment on being a nation, I think that's so important. Nations have many different groups. It's not just one group of people. Obviously, it's one group of people, and one thing binds them, one greater truth. Who we are in our DNA, what we stand for as a people. But it involves many different people. Some people might like to eat spaghetti, others might like to eat lasagna. So when we come together as a nation, we have to be mindful of that we have to put those emotional things, those preferences that we have and those other things to the side, focus on the task at hand, and use everything that can be used for the purpose, use it, and anything that can't, we can put it to the side. We can figure out some of these issues later. Or better yet, if these issues exist, then you might end up in one tribe and I might end up in another. But first, we have to come together as a nation and all be on the same page.
I'm going to, yes, sir. I'm going, huh? Yeah, I'm going to give this about the amount of attention that it needs. I was told a story about the American Indians, and they had a ritual. They'd be sitting around the campfire smoking their peace pipes, and a lightning thunder happens, and they say that God is killing some white person. You know, I mean, there's a thing called cause and effect. And let it take care of white people. I really don't have time to deal with them. I believe that same law eventually, I think that the very day or the very moment that that particular people decided to go and to take someone from their homeland and decided to treat them as though they were less than animals. I think that they started something in the works, you know, and I think that if we get in the way, we just might bring that retribution on ourselves. So I'm suggesting, humbly, of course, that we keep our focus on what we are going to do. Okay, I'm not interested in judging white people, because, brother, I've judged them for 50 damn years. You know, and I believe that that our focus today should be on what it is that we are going to do. I think the second part of this particular talk is probably what I'm geared toward, and that is solutions. Mm-hmm. You know, because if we don't seriously begin to think about solutions, we're doomed to the past. We're doomed to remain on the bottom of society. And I'm done with worrying about white folks. I'm literally done with it. You know, because we have worried about them now for maybe 90 years. And we still don't have a state. we don't even have a city. We can't even call where we are gathered a community, because we don't feed ourselves, we don't clothe ourselves, we don't house ourselves. We don't even produce toilet paper to wipe our behinds. So I think we got something to worry about other than white folks. We have to put some priorities in place. But I'm going to answer your question. Yes, God damn America, God damn white people. That way I'm on the record. You know, I believe in that, but I'm saying that we have got to be about the business of getting our lives in order, which is why I am so happy and honored to be a part of your organization, Brother Maurice. I'm honored. I see Brother Angel Snuffnuff just came up with his concept and idea of the Mississippi campaign, the Exodus Mississippi, because at least it's going in the order of doing something, of being constructive, you know. And I think that's where that is where we should be focusing our attention. As a matter of fact, that is where we are focusing our attention. And I know that this is just a topic to reach for a solution. I'm ready for the solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Omar. Thank you. And welcome to the panel, Brother Angel. I want to go, because Brother Omar, what you said in the beginning of your opening talk about, you know, we don't care about white folks. We don't need to deal with that. A lot of people say that, right? And especially those that's been dealing with these crackers longer than we. They say that a lot. But this is the thing. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But this is the thing that we got to realize.
Yes, sir.
Our enemy, this cracker, 99.7 or 99.8% of Black people send their children to the cracker school. And in the cracker school, they're not going to learn who this beast really is. So when we begin to talk solutions and they don't know the origin of the problem, they don't even understand that there is a problem. Because they've grown up into a society where killing Black people by the police ain't nothing. It's something, oh, it's justified. Go kill you another nigga. You know, it has become acceptable to give Black children inferior education. It has become acceptable. It has become acceptable to have Black people relegated to the projects. It has become acceptable to have bad food shipped into Black stores or to these stores that are in Black communities. It has become acceptable. And so with us, as being enlightened individuals, we know that that's not acceptable. And we know the reason, and we know the people who's behind it. So in order to make whatever the solution is that we come up with viable, to make it viable, the people that is targeted to help, they gotta believe in that solution. But if they don't think that this cracker is their enemy, if they don't think that the government and who run it, no matter whether it's a regular cracker or a chocolate covered cracker, they don't have our best interest in mind. So we gotta call out who the enemy is. It doesn't mean we worry, because I ain't worried about no cracker. But it's incumbent on me to teach who the enemy is at all times. Because some of our people will say something like this: a black person has been more bad to me than any white man has ever been as bad to me. And see, you know, when a black person say that, they don't know who this cracker is. They don't know the history of what this cracker has done and is doing. Now, I said this the other day. I said, the cracker can go out and jump on the bandwagon and say, yeah, you know, they killed George Floyd and it's wrong and da-da-da-da, and be protesting with you. They can protest policy. They don't have to say anything negative. They ain't got to say, go Klan, to hell with the nigga. They ain't got to say nothing to that. Why? Because policy and laws say it for them. And since policy and laws say it for them, they can come out and march with you all day long. Because marching ain't going to change policy. It ain't going to change laws. They know this, but our people don't. That's why they still marching. That's why they still saying no justice, no peace. And white folks is coming out with them, but white folks ain't changing no laws. They ain't changing no policies. And see, this is the thing why our people, we got to call it out, because if we don't, they'll go back to sleep and thinking that everything is all good, when in reality, it ain't. Just because you see a cracker on the protest march with you, that don't mean shit. That's fad. That's a fad. That's a phase. That's the end thing. Yeah, I'm protesting. I'm one of y'all. Black Lives Matter. Woo, woo, woo. Get the fuck out of here. No, we see you. You ain't changing no policies, because your policy do the speaking. Your laws do the speaking. So that's why I believe we have to call it out, to let them see that you didn't grow up in this place where you are by happenstance. This was planned for you to be just the way you are. This was a plan, and you're falling victim to that plan. So we gotta bring it there and let them to see. And some of our people, it's uncomfortable. I like what Sister Isis said about, I ain't forgiving. I don't forgive, I don't forget. Because we do that too much. We do that too much. Too much of this forgiving, forgetting, and you still in the same condition. But your enemy is in a better condition. So I want to ask the panel and welcome Brother Angel in. And I want to ask you, is there a way, in case I'm wrong, is there a way of making your solution stick without pointing out who it is?
You broke up a little bit.
I'm going to ask the panel, is it important to point out who the enemy is? Is that important to make the people, the masses of the people, understand our solutions that we're going to talk about? Is that important? Do we really have to point out who the enemy is and why? Why these crackers and these chocolate covered crackers are your enemy, are our enemy? Is that important? And if so, elaborate, Sister Isis.
Absolutely. I've been studying organization since I was young. The question, I understood racism from an early age. I just didn't understand why we were still being bothered with these people. And so from very early on, I began my study of organizations. I studied the UNIAA. I studied Marcus Garvey's organization in depth. I studied all the major Black organizations to see why they were not successful. After all of these years, after all of the millions of dollars, and that led to me writing my book, The Laws of Coons, where I talk about the coon or the internal enemy and the role that they play in breaking apart organizations, because essentially they're able, through using our brothers and sisters, they are able to cross the color line and send people in that are skin folk, but not kinfolk, to disrupt what we are doing. So it is essential that everyone knows how these people operate. They understand how important it is to understand us, and they invest trillions of dollars into understanding us, into understanding what we like to eat, what we like to watch, where we like to go, what we like to hear. And then they find people within the community and they invest money into indoctrinating them, because that's how they look at the people that they indoctrinate in their school systems and stuff like that. They look at it as an investment in their future. And so it is absolutely critical that everybody understand exactly. And then the other reason why you have to understand is because it's a certainty that they're going to do certain things. It is a certainty that if we say, okay, let's separate, let's go, it is a certainty that they're going to follow us. They want to know where we're going. They want to know what we're doing. If we're planting, they want to know what we're planting. If they want to know how many children are with us, how many men are with us, how many women, they want to know. And we need to be prepared for that. See, the going away is the easy part, you know, the separating, the setting up nation. We're smart. We can do that overnight. We can start getting stuff planted and we could build a house in a day and all of that. But the difficult part is maintaining. I've seen intelligent brothers and sisters that came together for good and noble purposes end up in prison. This is real. End up in horrible situations, end up dead because of this fight. This is a fight that people lose their lives over. Let's be very clear. Sandra Bland lost her life. She was a fighter. She was an activist. She was someone who cared about our plight. So we have people that literally are losing their lives on the front line. We have a sister in the UK right now with a bullet in her head for this fight. So, and prayers for Sasha Johnson, but this is why it is important that we understand our enemy and be ready for them at all times. And our children need to be ready. We do a disservice to our children when we pretend that everything is okay. We're doing a disservice to them. We are essentially raising lambs when we should be raising wolves. We should be raising children that can take care of themselves and grow up into strong individuals. And instead, we're teaching them how to bow their head as to not offend the white people. And we're teaching them that the world is going to be fair to them as long as they participate in respectability politics and they're, carry themselves a super refined way, then they'll be okay. These are the things that our children are being taught. It is a disservice to them. And then when they get older, they learn that that's not the case. But by that time, they've already had the miseducation. It's later in life. They don't even know what to do with that knowledge at that point. So these are the things that we're dealing with. If we can let the children know, instead of sending them off to these schools where they're going to get a miseducation, because no person in power has ever educated people on how to subvert that power ever. So we're sending them to school and they're giving them this miseducation. It's not benefiting us, it's benefiting them. We have to let people know, but we also have to be a people that produce, that can show the community that they can do the things that they need to do. When we receive the funds, when we receive funds to do things, we need to be able to show the people that, yes, we can be responsible. We can make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go. We all know it's very hard to get Black people's trust and very easy to lose it. So we are up against that as well, because we are literally dealing with people that have been trained to hate me and you, to hate themselves, to hate Blackness. I am that embodied. I am a Black intelligent woman, and they have been trained. When they look at me, their brain says enemy. You know, they have been trained to fight the truth. This is literal brainwashing that they have. When they hear certain key words, they have this response. Now, isn't it funny that there are certain responses that people give, religious people will give these responses, you know, well, if you have faith, or, you know, just these,
We still there, you go ahead.
Okay. But people will give these almost, like, and I see this in the Christian religion, people will give almost these planned responses where it's almost embedded in them to give that response, right? And they don't even know where it came from. It's just somebody said the right key word and then they had a response. Because it is the brainwashing that they have these receptors that are saying, cut off critical thinking, don't ask questions, and go along. And what's funny is we have people that have never been in the Christian church that still have these same responses when we're questioning them and when we're having conversations. They still have, and they've never been in the church a day in their lives. They're like, no, my mom and dad weren't religious, and you know, that wasn't my upbringing. So it's the same teaching that is getting to all the people. It's the same brainwashing. And you can go to this institution. This is so funny. Somebody said to me something about a historically Black college. One institution in this system is just the same as another. I don't care what you call it. You can call it the Black College of Blackness. They're not going to teach you anything to allow you to subvert this system. Okay, that's their nightmare. They have done all of this to obtain and retain power. They have invested trillions. So no, they're not going to just walk away from that type of investment, from generations upon generations of investments in oppression, in financial investments, infrastructure. They're not going to just walk away from that. So yes, I'm sorry, I rambled on, but the main point is, yes, we have to educate, absolutely, in order for any solution to be effective. The solution itself may be easily applied, but what's going to happen after that, when they have questions for us and they want to subvert us, that's where the real problems come in. And we have to know our enemy in order to survive that.
You know, it's an interesting dilemma that we have, you know, and we have been trained to respond to things a certain way. You know, we have, with the civil rights people, they taught us to go out in the street and march peacefully, carry the signs, get your head bust open. And by doing that, we're going to get white people to say, oh, what a terrible thing. We bust these niggas in the head. The world is going to look and they're going to say, oh, those white people bust those niggas in the head. If there's anybody, boy, you know, I think that our children, know. And I think that they are rebelling the way that they know how to rebel. I think we underestimate them in thinking that they are so asleep. They're not as asleep as we think they are. They are looking for a way out. Someone suggested to them that the way out, the way that we can get some money, is through drugs. Gangsterism, like Scarface, like Gotti, Al Capone. To their credit, they saw something. It may not have been the best thing, but they saw something where they could get some results. They didn't have to answer to some henpecked parent that say, don't do this, Johnny, a Kareem, etc., etc., etc. Because they wasn't answering to old heads. They went out in the street and they said, look, I'm not going to take the shit that my parents took. They know that this society is screwed up. They know that our condition is screwed up. All that they need is a different example. They're looking. Don't think that they're not looking. I mean, when you have these marches, you ain't got old people out the street marching. Oh, the young people. So now, we're not going for us getting shot like this. We're not going for somebody with their feet on our neck. They're just looking for the vision. They are angry. We don't have to make them more angrier. What we have to do is show them a better way. And the only way that we're going to show them a better way in today's society is to show these kids how they can get some money in their hands. Because that's what motivates them. They're not looking for a plan that's going to take 30 years. These kids come up in the fast food era, where you can go to the store and say, I want me something to eat, and they get it right then on the spot almost. They not say, look, I'm going to go down and sit down and have myself a dinner and wait 30 or 40 minutes for my meal to come out of the back. So I think that is what we have to be thinking in terms of. We have to be thinking in terms of how can we get the attention of our children. And we're not going to get the attention of our children with old ideas. Just not going to happen. I'm not saying I have the answer, but I'm saying that we need to sit down as a people and come up with one. I'm talking about we as a people. I'm talking about the older people, 35 and up. And we got to think differently. We can't think how we've been trained to think, because that is not going to be attractive to our young people. They'll go out there and they will fight. And somebody say, "But y'all go home now, it's dark." Man, I'm mad as hell. What the fuck are you talking about go home? I'm ready to tear something the fuck up. That's where their mind is at. Why? Because we have them angered. And in anger, you're not thinking. You're reacting. We got to think of a different way. These are just, I mean, I think I have some kind of a solution. You know, and that is, we have to figure out a way to earn Black people's trust. Because unless we get their trust, they're not going to do what is necessary to come up out of this situation. Because no matter what I say out of my mouth, if you don't trust me, it's just a waste of doggone energy. I'm going to yield, so maybe someone else on the panel want to talk, and we'll come back to this. I mean, because there's a lot to be said.
Okay, thank you, Brother Omar. Brother Andrew, is your stuff working to tune in?
Howdy, partner. Can you hear me?
All right, well, yes, sir. We can hear you. We can see you.
All right. All righty. I really don't know where to start. I first of all want to thank you, brother, for inviting me to your panel, and all the panelists. I thank you so much. I want to go back to what our sister was saying, which is out of my timeline, but that's where I want to begin. She was talking about the nation building, and she was making a very good point. And I don't know, people just not getting it. And I say it all the time. And the sister just verified what I say when she said, we must understand in a nation, everybody's not going to be the same. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. We have this fantasy idea that we can get together and everybody's going to be the same. That's not how it works. Even when you look at the building of this nation, when these Peckerwoods came from Europe and how they got themselves together, everybody is not the same. They are arguing and fighting amongst each other right now. If they was the same, there would have been no need for some capital standoff on the 6th or whatever it was. If they was the same, they think differently. If they was the same, there would be no need for Republican, Democrat, and all that kind of stuff. They're not the same in their religion or anything. People is not the same. And everybody have their own idea of what morality is or what they want to do, blah, 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 blah. You know, in religious countries, they do that. I don't know. If you plan on building some type of religious nation, well, that's different. And everybody's under the Bible, everybody's under the Quran, or however you want to roll it. I personally don't want nothing to do with nothing like that. I wish you the best of luck. We're not the same. But before you can speak of anything and do anything, you got to be liberated, you got to be free. And it is important that we teach the young children about what they're dealing with. That's very important. But also, in teaching them these things, I have found also that within this Black conscious type community, they are foul also. So the children needs to get a balance in the reality of what they're dealing with. We already know what we was brought up in from the American European way. We already know, but there's some foul stuff that's not real either when we start teaching or telling the children about ourselves. There's a lot of foul stuff in that also. And we should just keep it to nation building, keep it eyes on the prize, because really none of it means nothing if you're not liberated. I mean, even in the scriptures, the main focus with Moses was separation, even from your scriptures. You got to get away from your enemy. It's simple as that. It is unnatural for people who are different to be together. You do not see that in nature. There's all kinds of bears. They do not live together. There's all kinds of whales. They do not live together. There's all kinds of Black people, and I'm glad that you're my relative, but we're not the same. We all in our own place in this world. However we came into being, we need to be with ourselves. It's all right for me to barter and trade. You give me some oil, I give you some sheep. You give me some corn, I'll give you this. But I don't want you coming over here trying to get in my daughter's underwear. You keep that. Now we got some problems going on. It's got a problem going on. We have to concentrate on ourselves. It's about us. It's about separation. Separation from Europeans and crazy ass Africans and whoever else on the planet. To me, if it's Black first, that means it's Black American first, the so-called Negro first. That's what it should be about. Us. I want my own land. I want my own policy. I want to make my own law. I want my own nuclear weapon. It's about me. That's what I want. It's all about us. That's where I stand. That's where I'm going for. Now, I can be friendly. I can be cordial with those outside of us, and we can work. But if you try to get in my way to get what we want, what we need, which is the number one priority, which is liberation, we got a problem. So I don't give a damn what your skin color is, or if you are African, whatever the hell you are. If you in our way of liberating ourselves, you're going to deny me my independence, my right to be a human being, act like a man, be like a man, then we got a problem. Then I got to go to war with you. And see, personally, when people talk about these solutions, these people are fake. I have learned that they're fake because, see, myself and Brother Maurice, we offer the Mississippi campaign. There's two versions. So if I'm not Black enough for you, then you got Brother Maurice. But see, the hypocritical thing is, I don't see them knocking Brother Maurice's door down. They're not doing that because they don't want it at all. They just using that as an excuse. Because if you can't get along with one, hey, you got the other. That's the beautiful thing about choices. That's the wonderful thing about choices. But we have to separate. We have to separate ourselves from these people and from other idiots. We have to separate ourselves. That's the only way. You cannot get better. How are you going to get, if you are a drug addict, how are you going to get clean and you living around drug addicts? It's not gonna, it's very difficult because they are going to continue to encourage you to do the drugs. As long as we are here in this so-called melting pot and we have not segregated or separated ourselves from, then we're gonna just remain what we are, which is defeating the purpose. I want my own. But at the same time, now I don't know. For some of you, we might want to beg the people. I'm not a beggar. All I say, I have a plan. Do you want to do it or not? I'm not going to beg your happy ass to do nothing. You claim I want liberation. You claim I want an independent nation. That's what you claim. So we have the solution. We have a plan that can give you all these things. I was talking to my audience earlier about children. Daddy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry. So you go in the kitchen and bring them some broccoli and some carrots, and they look at the plate. I don't want that. He must not be hungry, because people that's hungry will tear that up. Go to places where they don't have okra and broccoli and carrots. They hungry and starving. They'll tear that up. You must not be as hungry as you think that you are. But see, that's childish. We have a childish mentality. We have a childish mentality. You don't have nothing to offer. You have nothing on your plate. Beggars cannot be choosers. You claim that you're hungry. You claim that I want this liberation. I want my own independent nation. You have nothing on your plate. You have no solution. We are giving it to you. There you go. I don't want that. You ain't black enough for me. Well, you got choices. Here goes another plate. I don't want that either. See, you're dealing with people with childish mentalities, childish mind. And I'm not your damn savior. Now, if Superman want to come save your happy ass, that's his business. Save on. I'm here to offer you a solution that you claim that you want. I'm not here to convert you to anything. I'm not here to try to sell you nothing. Here it is. Do you want it or not? And I'm not mad at you. All stories don't have happy endings. Some endings run out very terrible. They don't turn out good. I can accept that. It's on you. Do you want to live or die? That's your choice. People are in these situations all the time and do dumbass stuff. Do you want to live or do you want to die? That is simple as that. And you make the choice. I'm not here to beg nobody. I mean, I got people all the time want to ask me all these questions and blah, blah, Mississippi campaign, blah, blah, blah. I really don't care. I'm offering you something here. Either you eat your vegetables because you claim that you're hungry or you don't. I'm not here to sell you nothing. That's your business. But see, they liars anyway. I spent 10 years locked up. I know these people tight. I was locked up with people that talk about, I want to get free. I want to get out of jail. You're a damn lie. They putting on a show. They're not real. They just want to put on a show. They want to make you think they're not. I know these people kind. When I was locked up, if I could get anybody to get an interview, they would tell you, I was on my grind. I want out, I want out, I want out. That's all the conversation you're going to hear from me. I want out. These people, even when it got to the time, the Peckerwood said, it's time for you to go. You thought they'd be happy. I done seen these guys throw chairs against the wall and stump and holler and scream. It was all a lie. See, Brother Maurice, you are an example because, like you said, as long as you was talking, as long as everybody was talking about, let's go to Mississippi, let's do this, it's all gravy. They be rooting like Arsenio Hall, woo, 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 woo. But as soon as the reality began to sit in, damn, this Negro actually want to go and live there. Then they slowly start doing the moonwalk. And you might hear from them and you might not, who knows? And they gone. Because, see, this, just like the sister was on point. This is life and death. This is suffering and sacrifice. Everybody ain't ready for it.
Hey, stop yelling. Talk normal.
That's the way I roll, bro. I'm sorry. But a lot of folks just not ready. They're not ready for this. They are comfortable in this cesspool. And I cannot get with it. They keep talking about a solution. We have the solution here. You don't have to ask me, well, what's the solution? We gave you the solution. You don't want to eat it. You don't like what's on the plate because you don't want nothing at all. They remind me of children. They don't want the broccoli, well, because you're not hungry. Because if you was hungry, you'd tear that broccoli and them carrots up. You're not hungry. But see, by the time you realize that what was on your plate was good for you, you might not have a choice. Might be too late. Because time waits for no one. We just keep waiting for the right. Time does not wait for nobody. So when your time run out, you're gonna get what's coming to you. And I hope that your Jesus is real. I hope that your Muhammad and your Allah and Yashara and all these different gods and spooks and aliens that come out there. I hope all that stuff is real because you're gonna need it. But according to history, these thousands of years of history, it has not made itself manifest yet. You're on your own. If you don't do it, it won't get done. I was raised under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and that's his teachings. If you don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. God came to teach you, to put you in the right state of mind, to give you the right mind, give you the tool. But Master Farad Muhammad never said he was gonna do your fighting for you. To my knowledge, to the teachers, he never said he was gonna come back and fight for you. Except later on, the mother plane's supposed to do his thing or whatever, but we don't, in the meantime, what do you do? So you talk about solution. We have the solution here. We call it the Mississippi Initiative. We call it the Operation Exodus Mississippi. And if you need clarification, if you really want to understand we're here. I'm not here to talk to people who are fault finders. But if you really want to understand and really want to know, we can talk with it. I have my telephone number is public. We can talk about how this works. But then you have fault finders because you're a loser. You want us to be a loser like you are. I'm a winner. I don't know where you come from. I likes to win. I don't like to lose. And this guy, this Peckerwood, whatever, he's not a tough fella. He's not tough. We make him more than what he really is. He's not a tough fella. You don't have to wait till the sun burn him up. You don't have to wait for that. We was talking about that earlier on my live stream. Like, okay, if the sun is going to burn him up, what do that say about the light-skinned brothers and sisters? Because some of us are just almost as light as the Peckerwood is. Hell, some of the Peckerwoods is darker than some of us are. I guess they gonna get burned up too. Who gonna be left? But hey, I just want to thank you for allowing me to say those few words. I don't want to take up a lot of everybody's time. Sorry for talking loud, but that's just how I roll. Anybody that know me, that's how I roll. I talk loud. That's how I do. That's part of my mental illness. As the cracker told me. You talk loud. You're really scary. You're a really scary Negro. Okay, yeah, okay. Now, see, this is the thing about it too. I'm past the mic. When you talk loud and say things people don't like, you're a scary Negro. But when you talk loud and you're saying something that people like, preach, brother, preach, teach, brother, teach. And I don't like hypocrisy. You know, I don't like that. You see that all the time because that's what we're doing all the time is we're just preaching. But when the preacher says something we don't like, you sure talk loud, you scary. Didn't your mama tell you better? I pass the mic.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you. We want to welcome Brother Jesus. Welcome, Brother Jesus. And we're going to get to you in the as we go around. From listening to all of the comments, the question that I have for the panel now is that there is a difference between country and nation. You know, they're called nation states, where these people that's in the nation state are quote unquote the same. You have states like Israel is quote unquote a nation state. America is not a quote unquote nation, it is a country.
Mm-hmm.
And so understanding nation state and understanding country and the divide between, you got your Black Americans, you got your Blacks over in Africa, you got your Blacks over in England, you got your Blacks in the Caribbean, you got Black people everywhere on this planet. Everywhere on this planet. And I know in certain parts of Africa that Africans, like in some Nigerians, damn near all Ethiopians, they don't want to deal with Black Americans, right? But you have some in Ghana who don't have a problem. Ain't got a problem with Black Americans. But you have some Black us here in America who may have a problem with the African or the Caribbean or the African that's in England. Now, all of us suffer from the same problem, which is that cracker, So can we unite behind mindset versus whether you're in Africa or the Caribbean or Brazil, South America? I mean, like Hugo Chavez. I always talk about Hugo. That's my boy. I love it. Too bad he dead, but I love it. You know, he would always proclaim his Africanness. You know, yeah, I'm an African, I'm a Black, you know? And from here in America, and when ADOS jumped out and made this divide even stronger, we have to deal with that. So my question to the panel is, do we unite by mentality, regardless of where you are? Or should we stay in our, what I would call tribe? You were Black in America, that's your tribe. Even if you Nigerian in America, you ain't in the Black American tribe, you in the Nigerian American tribe, right? You in the African tribe, whatever part of Africa you come from. Where does the rubber meet the road? How do we navigate that? And that's the question to the panel, starting with Sister Isis, and we'll go Sister Isis, Brother Omar, Angel, and just us. And let's try not to go too long so we can get everybody in. Sister Isis?
Do we all have to be the same? No. I think that we should absorb as many people into the group that want to be in the group and have the ability to put the needs of the group over the needs that they may have for themselves, over the needs of the individual. Anybody who can come in and say, I may be of a different religion, or I may be of this, we're not even asking about that right now. That's not important. I don't care what your affiliation is. Another thing when it comes to leadership, this is one thing that people have to understand. There's a lot of people out here that hold this idea that there's going to be one great leader. There's going to be many different voices. And we need to learn how to embrace those different voices instead of feeling like we are dealing with competition or somebody is going to surpass somebody else. We need to embrace many different voices. Okay, there were many people that stood with Malcolm X and were a voice alongside him, and he may have shown a little bit brighter, but they were all speaking the same message. And that's the great thing. We can all speak the same message, but be a little bit different, because this brother right here, and his name is Jessinus. Okay, that brother right there, he could talk to me all day. Okay, but I know some kids he would make cry. You know, they can't take the truth like that. They're not set up like that. Me, I'm set up like that. We could go all day. I love it. I'm like, yes, this is right up my alley. We can discuss, but he would. So it's great that we have many different, we've got brothers for the brothers. We got sisters for the sisters. We've got, you know, we've got all of it, and we're all on the same message of this is what we need to get done, and this is how we need to get it done. It is a matter of sacrifice. It's a matter of personal growth as well. I'm not the leader today than I was in the past. There are things that I've learned. There are things that I've let go. There are things that I've become more tolerant of. There are things that I'm still not tolerant of and will never be tolerant of. So it's a matter of personal growth that we begin to accept things. We begin to learn what's important and what's not important, so that we can become better leaders. That's why we have the elder voices and the younger voices. Everybody's voice is important and meaningful as long as we all are on the same agenda. Now, if we have people that are talking about something totally different and it makes no sense in all of this, we don't have to tolerate that. But as long as we all have the same message, then how you deliver it may be different than how I deliver it, but I still support it and I love it and I'm grateful for it. And with that, I pass.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm in agreement that we don't have a uniformity, okay, in our thinking so much, but we do have a uniformity in our needs, you know, and I think that should be the criteria that we utilize in coming together. You know, I mean, one of the things that is something that we're in the process of doing now. We're in the process of putting together a document that we can stand behind as a people. Now, we're not so stupid to believe that every so-called Black American in this country is going to get behind it. But we have to understand one thing, is that the Caucasians, they came together and they put together a document over 200 and some odd years ago. And you had people in the northern part of the country who were thinking a certain way. Then you had people in the southern part of the country who were thinking a certain way. But nevertheless, they all got behind a document. Now, mind you, that document may have been heavily centered towards a certain particular people, but they got behind it. And what we have today is a country of over 50 states. But somebody had to sit down and put something on paper, because right now we have a church in New York, a church in Atlanta, a church in Los Angeles, a church in Louisiana, a church. Everybody is talking about Jesus, but nobody had put in writing an idea that would get us out of this situation if we would just follow it. Mind you, the idea have to incorporate the whole of our people, because we're not going to get all the people to think the same way. So we have to create an umbrella that is big enough to incorporate all different ideologies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we got to do something. I invite, I don't have the power to invite. I let Brother Maurice do that. You know, but we do need more mindsets, you know, to come and help us put together this document. You know, that I think will be a catalyst to lift our people up out of the situation that we are in. You're absolutely right. We are not going to have a leader. Not gonna happen. Who wants to be up there? We have a habit of killing them rascals, you know. You know, I want to get up there and get killed. You know, I like to be like the generals who send the troops out there. You know, because what has happened is that every time we got a good, powerful, show enough leader, they cut them down. And when they cut the leader down, what happens? The organization goes where? As Petula Clark used to say in her song, downtown. It goes down. You know, so we have to be at least astute enough to do as this so-called cracker did, is that he put together a document that they would only have a leader at the most 8 years. You got 8 years to show that you have some vision for the country, and if you don't come through on 8 years, you're out. We just like we be just like the Price is Right. We're the next contestant. Come on down, because we need to look beyond personalities. How well somebody can talk, how good they look. We should have learned from those mistakes. But if we put a document together, that document can stay together, can stay in for hundreds of years, as we are seeing today. I'm going to rest there to give other people a chance to speak.
I want to say I concur with much of what the panel has said. I really don't have too much to add. Brother Maurice broke it down, the difference between nation and country. In our situation, I think it would be sort of like a combination of both, because we're not in a position, we have too many of a variety among us to call ourselves a nation. It would be more so of a country where we can have different various type of things going on. But what is most important is our unity among ourselves first. We cannot even begin to talk about unification with other people, and we have not struck a bond with ourselves. You know, we can't talk about any unity with African, and then we don't have nothing to offer. We got to have something to offer. That's another reason why the Mississippi campaign is so important. We have to have something to offer. We want to be able to put ourselves in a position. So if we were successful in a state like Mississippi, and we were producers of organic foods or whatever we produce, now we can, we have certain talents or whatever. Now we have something that we can share, something that we can offer with other people. And as far as our unity is concerned, it is best for us, if we are serious, take our leadership of the various organizations or whatever. And I say this all the time. Why don't we go to a Black-owned hotel, and these leaders, these people who have thousands of followers or whatever, you go into this place and you stay there until a document or some type of agreement between all the factions, all the different varieties of people, until we can come up with something. You know, it reminds me of when they send the jury out. They get dinner for the jury and all like that until they can come up with the verdict. And that's what we need to do. Everybody, you get your people together and and just iron everything out. Cuss, fight, jump rope, whatever you need to do, stay there until you can come out and tell the people, we have one leader, and this is a leader that represents us. And he don't have any real power. It's like a council of elders behind this person, but he's just the figurehead. This person is going to represent us. Whatever he says is because it's been approved by us. And this is, we have decided this is what we are going to do. And there's always a majority and minority. I'm sorry, but the minority, you know, you've been outvoted, but you support whatever has been decided, like in all democratic type situation. If they decide, if the people, we got together, and people know how I talk about Minister Farrakhan, but if the people decided Minister Farrakhan is the one that's going to represent us, I have no problem with it. The people have spoken. Let's do it. As long as we move together and go one direction, one purpose, one goal, let's do this. Because all this stuff going back and forth and everybody doing their thing, that's never going to work. All that confusion is not going to work. And we are taught in the Quran that Allah is not the author of confusion. And let me not be confused about my time. Let me pass this mic on to the next person. Brother Jessup.
Peace, peace, peace. Y'all guys can
We hear you.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
We hear you, but we can't see you.
all right. So you brother, see me very clear. You see the picture.
Can't see you, brother.
The picture's right there. Letting you know who I am. All right. So one word comes in mind, definitely. And I think this is definitely going to help with a lot of things that we're talking on. And the word that comes to mind is called autonomous. Autonomous. And definitely that's a route that was taken in the 18th century, right, by a brother who may not be properly known, but was very educated when it come down to leading and helping his people. Dr. Robert Joseph Love. You know, he's one of the brothers that taught Marcus Garvey to start him on his journey to lead his people in the millions. Dr. Robert Love. You know, he talked about autonomous leadership where, like the brother just said, the people decide and lead on his own. I think that's very important. But we need to actually know how the structure works, because there are people that works like this now, you know, that we can look up and study and see what they're doing and how they're doing it, versus just talking about it, because we don't know the structure of it on our own. You know, there's structure that actually is working. It's in play right now. You know, but to say we're going to pick someone, but don't have the education on what we're picking, doesn't make any sense. You first got to educate yourself what it means to be autonomous government in order to pick someone to know how it works. And also look at those who are doing it to make sure it is structured properly. Other than that, it's just a ghost in the sky like Casper. And also one of the things I think that's very important in coming together is we got to make sure each of us have the means to come together as well. What I mean by that is that, you know, some of us might have some talents that could help promote the health and the wealth of each other if you're really serious about being together as well too. You know, because you can have a group of people, and of the group of people, 50% of them suffering, but yet mentally you want them to be with the cause. I mean, how that works. If you got 50% suffering, the whole group going to suffer at the end of the day. So we still got to have ways and means to live through life at the same time as we build this autonomous government that we're moving towards. Health. When I say health, I talk about your physical health, financial health. You know, these stuff have to be looked at. Hey, where his brother at? Where his sister at? You know, is there any knowledge they could pass along and see how they can build themselves whilst we pushing for this autonomous government? Because if this sister or brother is suffering, now they got to rob you now. But yet they're a part of you. Because if you up there eating good and your belly big and the next one skinny, that's not going to work. So there's a lot of things, and you know, we got to look into as well too. Yeah, the ideas are great. Awesome. But what do it mean to really have an autonomous government? What do that really means? I rest my mic.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like what everybody has said. I'll give my little 2 cents. For me, I like the mindset, right? I don't care whether you're in the Caribbean, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in London, whether you're in Egypt. If you share the same mindset that I have, then we're on the same path. We're on the same point, you know, because we have an enemy that we have to defeat. And I strongly believe those who do not think the way we think, then they're on the side of the enemy. They're on the side of the enemy. And we have to understand that it has to be by mindset. Can't be by religion. You know, definitely, damn sure can't be by no religion. You know, because that'll sure have you fighting quicker than any damn thing. You know, and you can't do no integrating. You know, if you married to the cracker, that ain't gonna work either. That won't work. Because we're in, I think we got a good enough base to understand what a solution that we're all looking at. But just so we can make it very plain, I want the panel real quickly to give what you think a viable solution is. And what does that look like? Try to draw us a mental picture of what that looks like. And I may ask you point-on-point questions, or I may go into the next person. Sister Isis?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yes, solution. What does your solution look like to the problem that we face? I talked briefly about what I thought about whether we go by color or where you at, and my answer was, you know, we go by mindset. I don't care whether you're in Europe, you're in Africa, you're in Egypt. If you're Black and you think like us, we're on the same team. We're on the same team. We got the same objectives. Let's come together and let's get it done. You know, I truly believe that us that are awakened, it's our duty, our responsibility to think and plan on behalf of our people, even though they don't think like us, but they don't understand what we understand. So we gotta think for them and prepare for them, because when we do that, we're thinking for the generations that's coming behind. We're preparing for the generations that's coming behind us. So, you know, what do you think? And what do you think is a good solution that's going to get us out of the condition that we're in?
I agree. I think separation is essential. And I think everybody's going to have to drop some of their expectations. Everybody. We need to come together by any means necessary. And what I mean by that is, I don't believe that we need one leader. I believe that we can be multiple leaders and do what we need to do, as long as we are all equally down for the cause and we're all around the same table and we're all ready to rally to the same cause, then that's all that matters. we don't need to kiss the ring and go through all of these theatrics that the Europeans do and all of that. We don't need the formality, but what we do need to do is set expectations. And I'm glad to have been here today, glad to be on this panel. And that's what I walk away kind of thinking about is this Be One movement that you have. What exactly are our guiding principles? How can we put that in writing where you can be from whatever walk of life, but this is how we do business. And this is how we represent. This is who we are and how we get on in the world. That is something that needs to be written down. There are certain things that we can all agree on, hopefully, like keeping white people out would be one. It would be nice to have that in writing. So that is all I have, but thank you so much for having me on the panel. And thank you to everybody. I love what I heard.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Isis. Thank you. Brother Omar?
What does it look like? I like what you said, Brother Maurice. We black first doesn't necessarily have to only mean indigenous ex-slaves here in this country.
Yep, I agree with that.
I'm sorry. I thought somebody said something.
Yeah. Let me just interrupt 1 second, Brother Omar. That was Brother Daniel, and I think he said he agreed with you. But I just wanted to, because this is his first time being on the panel. But on our panel, we have an imposed discipline, and that discipline is we allow each other to speak. We don't, jump in there and say, wow. We go ahead and allow it. And then when it's your turn, then you can say anything that you wanted to say. So thank you, Brother Daniel, for backing up Brother Omar. But we just have that imposed discipline so that the chat and everybody else can make sure that they hear everything that is said. Thank you, Brother Omar. Go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you, Brother Daniel, as well. The thing is that we have to, I agree, I think we think alike, and more than we think. And the key is to get something in writing. I sat back and I noticed how the projected feeling that the community, I'm talking about the indigenous ex-slaves here had you had two people. You had Ice Cube put together a document. People were interested. They wanted to latch onto it. I think it was T.I. did put together a letter that he wrote to Lords of London. Just the mere fact that it was in writing. People, they wasn't so much keen on necessarily what was in it, but somebody stepped out and said, look, here is something that you can latch on to. And when you do that, what you're going to do, you put that type of thing online, and you're probably going to get more signatures than you can imagine. Take it to the news media. Be one. Hey, use their propaganda machine. Because the key, one thing that we have learned, with this social media thing, any recognition is better than none. You know, I watch people that say, look, hit the thumbs up, or hit the thumbs down. Either way, they're getting traffic, right? You know, that's the power of the written word. And I think that we are on to something. You know, and another thing is that it is pulling people mindsets away from personality worship. They're focusing, that will be focusing their attention on a document. And that document will draw more people than we could ever draw with the tongue. It is just a reality, because that's what people are orientated toward. And it is understood in the marketing world that if you can reach people so that they don't have to make a whole lot of changes, something that they're doing already. I mean, McDonald's say, look, people are already eating, so they focus on feeding them. They don't have to change they don't have to change the habit of eating. They're gonna do it anyhow. And we have to begin to think like that. Is that, hey, we have an idea, a concept. We got to think in terms of selling it. Because I sit and I go to some YouTube channels. They're talking pure damn garbage. But people are watching it because somebody's selling it. You know, and those are the type of things that I am a strategist. I sit back and I observe, and then after I observe, I say, I see how that worked. I see how that worked. And we have to realize that we are in this thing for the long term. You know, make whatever changes we have to make. You know, the first document that this country put together was not the Constitution. The first document they put together was the Articles of Confederation. That lasted for a few years, and then after that, some wicked people got together and put together the Constitution, but nevertheless, it was done. What I'm saying is that the document that you start out with may not be the document you necessarily end up with, but just put something together that makes sense. And then people who have better expertise will come along and they will help us perfect it. You know, and that's why I am so honored, brother Maurice, to be a part of what you're doing, because we're at least putting something in writing. You know, that brother Angel, brother Taalik, could you come in for a second? I want to ask you a question. What was the name of that the brother that wrote that book on the idea of the Mississippi Campaign? I forget his name.
Charles Blow.
Yeah, Mr. Blow. We was talking something Charles Blow put in writing.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up on the news. We know that brother Taalik started that idea. Not that somebody else didn't have an idea, but he made it public. But it wasn't in writing. This man came along, I like the idea what this guy is saying. I guarantee he saw it. And he put together the big machine that he has at the New York Times and put them in writing. So we're on the right path. You know, don't be dismayed. It looks like it's a big task, but I agree with Brother Taalik. These bastards ain't bad as we think they are. It's all what we put here. I rest. I don't know if I answered the question though. But
We're going to take it as an answer. Brother Angel.
Yes, sir. Well, as far as the solution is concerned, I recommend Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign. We're easily found on YouTube, Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign. Look us up. Start with the promotional video, and everything I've ever said about the campaign, all the videos are there. And if you have questions or clarification, my telephone number is on every video. My email is on every video, and we can talk. And again, I don't know everything, but I know that this is a good foundation. And I don't know why everybody's so angry and get upset about the Mississippi campaign, because the Mississippi campaign can encompass all these other different disciplines. We just put it under one umbrella, and we come together for one purpose, one goal, one vision. So I don't understand why they're so hateful. But now, as far as I'm concerned, with my strategy and how I look at things, back in the day, they used to call me the nice racist. The white folks. The white folks used to call me the nice racist. You know, they say he sounds like Cyrus Seti. He sounds like some of these other guys out here, but he's nice about it. You know, I'm not running around calling him the cracker. You know, matter of fact, I didn't even use that type of word. I didn't even say cracker. I just said the white man this, blah, blah, blah. You know, I wasn't saying the Peckerwood and the cracker this, and y'all gonna burn up in the year 2030. I wasn't talking all that kind of stuff. They call me the nice racist. And my strategy is this: out-slick the slickster, out-fox the fox. We are not in a position to go up and up with these people. We don't have a military. Matter of fact, a lot of the brothers will be in their military shooting at us. That's a fact. So we know these different things. So there's an old saying, brain over brawn. So I'm going to try to use my brain over these savages, because that's what they are. They savages. And they dependent upon their brawn. That's why they always showing you their military might, because they're not that smart. They conquered basically because of and they stay in power because of their brawn, not because of they bright, because they do the most stupidest, dumbest thing you ever seen ever. I look at it like this. A snake can kill you. But don't you know that same snake that can be your enemy and kill you, that same snake can feed you in a survival situation. That snake can save your life. And that snake, when you take that venom and make anti-venom, that same snake can also save you against other snakes. That's my philosophy. You use them against themselves. But see, when we put our minds, we make our minds rigid in this thinking pattern of blackity black, and we don't like the white folks. Do you know why I'm talking to you right now? I'm talking to you right now because I smiled in front of a white woman judge, and because I had white female associates in that place I was incarcerated. I was friends with them, and they were able to go where I couldn't go, get the information that I need. I used them as an agent. They was my informant, and they brought the information back to me so I could do what I needed to do to get out. If they can use us as agents and informants, why we can't use them? You got a bunch of folks out, crackers out there, you get them $1,000 and they might be related to some police officer. Can you get this information for me? Give you $1,000. You think they wouldn't take that money? Hell, some of them might kill you for $1,000. This is how we have to think. If it's good enough for them, how come it's not good enough for me? I had a Caucasian lady back in the day. She'd been a secretary for 15 years. She volunteered her services. I would write all your documentation up. I would do all that. I'll file all that for you. If they can use our people or use us, why can't we use them? Oh no, we need the black man is gonna do this and the black man. Well, when the black man gonna do it? Because I've been waiting for 50 years. When these black folks gonna do all this fantastical stuff? Because when I was locked up, a soul sister, a black woman, said her son was going to law school and she had all these books, and I'm going to bring you these books. I know that you can use them. I waited 1 year. I waited 2 years. I waited 3 years. Then here comes a Caucasian lady, was going to Washington University, and she was taking black studies or whatever. And she was taking law. She brought me the books before the week was out. And she also introduced me to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and some other people that she was learning in black study. I didn't get that from nobody. I got that from her. So I'm just saying, from my point of view, I want to outfox the fox. I want to outslick the slickster. You think you're getting over on me when I'm actually getting over you, which I'm not trying to hurt nobody or exploit nobody, but hell, if they could do it, why can't I do it also? It makes things much, much easier. You keep waiting on these black folks to do something special or whatever, and you're gonna be waiting a long time because they, just by any means necessary, as long as I get what I want. And you see I got what I want. I'm talking to you right now. I know it worked. It worked for me personally. It'll work for us as a people. I don't believe this. I know this. Passing the mic. Jesus, it's your turn, bro.
You can repeat the question.
What's your solution there, brother? What's your solution we're facing? And we're trying to wrap up, so we can't go too long now.
I'm not sure if it's too long because these guys were very long-winded themselves. So I'm gonna try to make this simple, short as possible. Again, I'm going back to the autonomous government, which is self-governed. But before one could self-govern, one need to govern themselves, have their finance in place. One need to have the ability to consciously make changes in their life without allowing the subconscious to rule. And also as a collective group, consciously, collectively make changes if need be, so the subconscious collectively control the change. I think it's all going to boil down to the conscious, to the mind, to the workshop of the mind. It's going to be a mental thing. I think, again, we have to get together on a conscious decision, because this stuff, it could happen. I mean, anything can happen once it's in the mind. It's very possible. But if you don't have a conscious goal, one goal, and physically taken care of. Like your physical part has to be taken care of as well. You know, it's one thing to speak on stuff when you're in the position financially to do it, and some people ain't. I mean, it's going to be a little difficult for others. Like, I think the state of well-being definitely has to be as one of the grounds that you have to look at. You know, hey, are your brothers and sisters really prepared to do this? Yeah, your heart is there. That's good. But are you all able to do it? You know, I think that's something that definitely need to be discussed. Are you able to do it? Versus only your heart is there. You know, because in a lot of groups that we have, in a lot of organizations, time and money is key. Time and money is key. Because you may have the time, but are you financially stable to keep yourself afloat so you don't have a mental breakdown in the camp? So I think the foundational stuff definitely have to be looked at, you know, very carefully, and be able to move forward on a stable level, being that you okay in those areas. You know, and I agree with everyone, you know, that take that they're saying. I know, I understand, I agree with they're saying, but being able to be and have stability in life is very critical for this to happen. Yeah, some groups got together. They may have different agendas going on, but they had one thing in common, but their stability still was there. They couldn't do that without being stable. You can't forget the fundamental of life that keeps you living and keeps you going. I rest my mic.
Thank you, Brother Jessas. Thank you. And all of us on this panel, I know I can be very long-winded. So I think it just comes with the job. It just comes with the job. This is our passion. So that comes there. But I want to say this, because I respect everybody on the panel. If I didn't respect you, you wouldn't even be here, right? Because I don't mess around with people who I don't respect. And everything that I've heard, you know, and one thing you all know about me is that I always take notes, because I'm consistently learning. You know, even on panel, I'm learning, because I know I don't know it all. I don't know it all, but I know that if we put our minds together and we're committed to the goal, then we know it all. Then we know it all, right? Because I'm only as strong as, you know, my brother and my sister that's next to me. Because it's real easy to kill the leader, and they always do that. They always do that. And they do it in a manner to make another person afraid to say, okay, I'm gonna be the leader, right? You all know they shot Kennedy in the broad daylight. Shot that nigga in the broad daylight and came up with a lie that it was a magic bullet, one magic bullet. One magic bullet from the back. In the film, you can see the head, pow, pow, you see it. But they telling you it was one magic bullet from the back that went in and moved this way and went that way. And people are so dumb that they still want to believe in the magic bullet theory. I ain't got time. Ain't got time for that bullshit. That ain't gonna never work. That ain't gonna never work. And we gotta be able to strip ourselves of the garment that says you are what you're not, right? We got to be real. As Angel Snub Nose number 7 say, the reality's temple on earth. Because if your mind is always up in the sky, then you missing what's happening right in front of your face. And you go home and you pray about it and go back to the same damn condition. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Now, I'm not telling you not to believe in God, because I believe in God. I believe in it. But my God don't tell me to accept oppression. My God tells me, look here, you are God. So you get up and you change your condition. How dare you stand there and let this lesser thing rule over you? We can't do that. I refuse to do that. I refuse. When I understood, when I was in the military and I understood that cracker don't have the power. If a gnat took a morsel of bread off his plate, he don't have the power to make the gnat bring the morsel back. When I realized that, I understood that. And I showed up to work, and the cracker told me, he said, hey, go out there and move them bleachers. Help them move them bleachers. I looked around, I said, who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. You don't hear me? I said, you better go tell these privates to go do that. You ain't talking to me. Hey, oh, yes, I am talking to you. I said, the fuck you are? You ain't talking to me. Because if a gnat or anything smaller took a morsel of bread off your plate, you couldn't make the gnat bring it back. What the fuck do I look like doing what you tell me? And he was shocked. Nobody talked to him like he was shocked. He said, well, go home. I don't know what's wrong with you, but evidently something wrong with you. Maybe you need some rest. Go home. I was like, hell yeah. I'm going home. Why? Because I had an idea in my mind that I believed on. That this motherfucker is powerless. He only got power if I give it. If I give him my power, then he got power. I ain't giving it. And that's what we got to understand. Don't give it. Don't give it. We've all been taught properly. We've been taught properly. But the problem has been the implementation. The implementation. And Brother Angel say, you talk all that blackity black. And we talk it good too. There ain't nobody talking better than we do. We talk the talk, damn it. But do we produce what need to be produced? That's the question. What are we producing? If we still run into the cracker, Massa, give me a job. Massa, give me some food. Massa, give me some money. Then all that blackity black talk ain't worth a goddamn, because it can't produce. So we got to be 100. Now, I believe in the blackity black. That's why we black first. But what Brother Angel talking about, he ain't wrong. He's not wrong. There's a faster route. It is faster. But I don't trust the cracker. I don't trust that motherfucker. I don't give a damn if he's a garter snake. I want that motherfucker dead. Because I can't trust him. So our route may take a little longer, but we're going to get the job done. We're going to get the job done. We're on the same battlefield. We're on the same battlefield. Shit. When we be successful, Brother Andrew and them groups successful. When they're successful, we're successful. Right? Because we're going same direction. Same direction. We just black first, doing it our way. And he's right. Even when it was known that, yeah, we made the move to Mississippi, you know, a lot of people, God damn, that nigga was real. That nigga wasn't playing. He actually there. You're right, I am there. We are here. And we just getting started. We just getting started. And we would ask you all to come up, step up to the plate and take responsibility. Take your responsibility. I don't want to be in a world where the Black woman is the most disrespected and unprotected woman in the world. And I'm a Black man, and that situation exists. It is better that all of us be dead if we're gonna let our woman be the most disrespected and you call yourself a man. It is better that we all be dead. That's real. But we gotta do what we gotta do. We got intelligent, strong, beautiful Black women that have earned our protection, that have earned our devotion. And you're gonna get it. And you're gonna get it. Well, and Brother Omar, the idea that you talked about publishing what we're doing, I never thought about it, but on our next meeting, we'll definitely discuss. So make sure you bring that to the table. If I forget, we will definitely discuss that. What we want to do, since we're over time, I want to go ahead to closing comments. And I want to apologize to everybody that I wasn't back home on time, because then I could have done a whole lot more things. But again, I'm sorry about my miscalculation with the road trip. But let's go ahead to closing comments. Sister Isis, you want to start with your closing comments?
My closing, just to keep it brief, we have to grow in our understanding and our tolerance and work towards solutions together. And as long as we do that, we're going to be all right. As long as we can rely on one another to come together and work towards solutions, we're going to be all right. And that's the important thing. Eventually, we'll be even more than all right. That's what we're striving for. Surviving is the base, but we want to thrive, and we want our children to be able to thrive with no ceiling. So, you know, I am so encouraged by what I'm seeing, the energy that I'm feeling in the community, in this stream right now. I'm just loving it. Again, thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And Sister Isis, tell everybody your channel again, because I want them to be able to find your channel.
My channel is The Real Isis One. And James, can you put it in the comments, please? Am I able to put a link in the comments?
You would have to go through it through YouTube to do that, but you should be able to.
I got people watching through YouTube, so they'll hopefully put the link in. But thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And again, family, I came across Sister Isis through what our brother name, Water Sniper, and he was mirroring her live, and I come in there and watch it, and Miss Life Lessons was up in there, and so everybody was vibrating to the truth. I was vibrating to the truth, and Sister Isis, is a pleasure again for have you with us. It's definitely an honor, and we want you with us more and more. We definitely love what you have, Brother Omar.
I'm thinking about a song we used to sing in the Nation of Islam, you know? You know, we are marching for Islam, and we will surely win, you know? And I want to just change it from just saying Islam, that we are marching for our people. And I'm not talking about physical marching. I ain't really into that, you know? But, and I think that that we're headed in the right direction, and that you're gonna see great things coming up out of Mississippi, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people coming into Mississippi. That'll be it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel. And Sister Isis, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Brother Angel.
Yes, I want to thank the panel for allowing me to give my little 2 cents in today. I've been doing a lot of talking this week, and really my throat was sore, but I'm saying, but wife Muhammad said, "Where you at?" And I'm like, so I'm like, wow, I guess I'm gonna have to just, chop one up and go ahead. And even though I can rest my voice or whatever later on, wife Muhammad said, "You're supposed to be here, then you get the link." So I had to go ahead, crawl to the computer, turn it on, get myself out here. But I'm very happy. I really enjoyed what my sister Isis had to say. I definitely will subscribe to her channel. And I would hope that she would come and visit my platform one day, the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. You can get the information. I'm very easy to look up.
I've already subbed you.
Oh, have you? Okay, all right. Yeah, come and join us sometime, Sister Isis. A lot of people are really hating on myself and Brother Maurice. They really hating on our unity. But see, Brother Maurice is special to me. Brother Maurice remind me of myself when I was a couple of years younger than him. And I don't know what it is. Brother Maurice threatened to kick my ass and run me over with a car, all kinds of stuff. And I don't know what it is. I just hang on to Brother Maurice, I don't know, it's just something, his sincerity. It's his sincerity. And Brother Maurice would tell you, even back in the day, even though he was saying all those different things, I supported Brother Maurice. He was B1 whooping ass on those debates back on Radio Blog Talk. And I was right there. And he'll tell you, I was there cheering him on. I was there for every one of them. But that's all I got to say. I'm going to pass the mic on to our brother Jesus.
Brother Jesus?
Jesus.
Yeah, y'all can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely appreciate to see that, we're definitely trying to come together for something solid and can definitely be something tangible where a reality could be seen and not just something we're just talking about. And I just think, once your mind and you got the vision and we keep is moving forward, it's just going to happen eventually. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it has already happened. Only because we in a time and space in the physical world, an experience must occur. The experience must happen. But it has happened already. And I definitely want to thank y'all for taking your time out, Sister Isis, Brother Omar, Brother Curtis, Brother Maurice, Brother Angel, Brother Daniel. Definitely want to thank y'all guys for coming out. And sometimes, you gotta, let Brother Maurice, we gotta thank him too, even though it's a program he is hosting, but he still have a life himself, He has to take time on his busy schedule and have the strength to be able to put these stuff on for us to conversate. So we also got to thank him as well and appreciate him just as a human being, just like any of us. I have a life. Let's not take it for granted that, it just happens. Just like we need that strength and we need to push and put the effort in. He faced the same obstacles. No different. So definitely want to thank all y'all guys for definitely making it out. And definitely, I like to see the link, but Sister Isis X, so I can subscribe as well too. And if you probably have any truth you want to say on my channel as well, which is Spirit of Jesus TV 33. Anybody definitely want to be a part of that? You can be a part of that because we speak more on consciousness and controlling and subduing the subconscious so that way your path of life that you want to take, you can go there. And that's what we're actually doing right now. This is exactly what we're doing. The subconscious mindset that we're in, we're trying to change that direction where it fits us, and have the potential for us now to be in charge of our life. I rest there.
Thank you, dear brother. Brother Daniel, I know you, Brother Omar told us you wasn't feeling well, but I just want to ask you before we go, did you want to have anything to say real quick before we go?
Yes, sir. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Y'all summed up everything. I agree with you 1,000%. I don't care where you from. I don't care if you're from the Caribbean, from the motherland, or here, as long as you got the same mindset. You said that very well, and I agree with you. And Operation Mississippi is not far-fetched, because look at Chinatown. How you think Chinatown got formed? They took control of a town. Now it's called Chinatown. We could do the same thing with Mississippi. That's not far-fetched.
Right.
Yes,
And
sir.
our ancestors did that years ago, what they call Black Wall Street. They took over Oklahoma. Okay, they did that with Rosewood. That was another Black Wall Street. They had a Wall Street in North Carolina. So that's not far-fetched. And I think it's a good idea. And I support the idea. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Exactly. Thank you. And thank you all. And so as we always close with, you kill the nigga in you, I'm gonna kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
Walaikum salam.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.